See, this is what I'm talking about. This is an excellent example of the kind of typical episode that I want to start seeing from this show. I don't want every single episode to be like Into the Wand. Not every episode has to be that great. Not every episode has to be that heavy and hold that much weight. If an episode like this can become the new standard for this show, it can be something genuinely awesome every single time. Not only this, but this episode takes an excellent step forward in Star's characterization. This is Page Turner, in which Glossaryck is about to show Star, under his supervision, a chapter in the magic book on dark magic. A chapter in the magic book about dark magic, which I immediately noticed has the same symbol that Eclipsa, Queen of Darkness from Into the Wand, wore on her cheek. And we do actually get confirmation later in the episode that she wrote the chapter or used that chapter to get her power or something. It's called her chapter, which I thought was pretty interesting. Like, after watching that episode, I got the sense that we were going to run into that character again at some point, because even before we learned her name, the camera held on her eyes for several seconds. But it's cool to see her name dropped again so soon. Star, like usual, is very reckless in her desire to read and learn about this chapter of magic. Even though Glossaryck says it would be dangerous, that her mother wouldn't want her to do it, she wants to do it anyway. But just as he gives in, just as he is about to oversee her exposure to this chapter, he's called away by what they call like the Magic High Commission or something. Let's see, they are made up of the Maryland Goat Man, Crystal Ball Person, Diamond Head, and Cute Vampire Demon Girl. All of them were super interesting characters with super interesting designs. They all had a lot of personality right out the gate. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of these characters in the future. I certainly hope we do and learn more about their backstories. We also got to see, in comparison to one of these people, a little bit of Glossaryck's power, which was super interesting. To actually get to their council chamber, he has to go through all this magical bureaucracy and deal with all these malfunctions at their headquarters, like legitimate malfunctions in the magic, which was all pretty objectively funny. In fact, the episode mostly focused on Glossaryck. This was, again, another episode where Star was barely present. And actually, much like Ponyhead, as much as I didn't like Glossaryck and as much as he's still not one of my favorites, I actually didn't mind him in this episode. I was actually glad that we followed him for a little while and got to see a little bit of what his life is like outside of training Star. The entire purpose of calling him there was because Star's mom, who was also present at this council chamber thing, wants Glossaryck to accelerate Star's training because something is draining magic and it could be a major threat, and she wants Star to be prepared. But Glossaryck basically tells her off for not trusting him with Star's training, because that's what he does. He trains the queens, and each one of them is different, so he has to tailor their training to them. And Star's mom actually trusts him. She actually agrees with him, and I thought that was really cool. We get all kinds of little hints dropped at the end of this episode, which I'm sure are going to weave into plot lines later on. It's a lot of interesting stuff. But since I am so far behind on the show, I'm not going to worry about analyzing any of it too much. I'm pretty sure we're going to get reveals about this stuff relatively soon. But I did notice that they were dropping little hints to stuff, and it was intriguing to me. I just want to make that clear. By the time Glossaryck gets back, Star has actually read the entire chapter on dark magic, and this is what I was talking about regarding Star's characterization. Yeah, she still let her childish nature get the best of her, and she did something that she wasn't supposed to do, but she flat out says that she read the chapter and she wasn't drawn in by any of the things that it promised, even slightly. I kind of get the sense that old Star would have tried some of this stuff for herself first, gotten into more trouble, and then had to clean up her mess, and this time she didn't do that. I really appreciated that. It shows that her characterization is moving forward. And for once, her doing the dumb thing, reading the chapter in this case, didn't actually feel like her characterization taking a step back, which was super welcome. And then the episode ended on a really funny gag, which they could come back later and reveal wasn't actually a gag, and I'm really excited to see if they do that. Overall, I don't think this episode was as great as Into the Wand, but it was a very good episode of this show. I liked it a lot. I like that this show is working overtime, setting stuff up. It has gotten me excited to move forward in my reviews of this series. I have, in fact, never been more excited to continue viewing this series. All that said, though, guys, if you have seen this episode of Star vs. the Forces of Evil, what did you think of it? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.